Okay, everybody, we're ready to go now with the draws for the quarterfinals. The McLarnan Cup, that is already, the permutations has already been decided. That's dictated by league placings. And you see it there, Cahardera will play Lady in St Patrick's Knock or Pius's Marafelt. Our Ladies Castleblaney will play Louis Ballymena. Inishowen will play St Patrick's Katie, and St Patrick's Downpatrick will play St Malachy's Castlewellan. Those games are on or before Saturday the 2nd of February. Now, brings us to the MacRory Cup, the main item of business. The draws for the MacRory Cup quarterfinals will be made by Una Murdoch, representing Danske Bank, and Jimmy Smith, chair of Ulster Schools. The quarterfinalists, 4 of the quarterfinalists have already been decided. Those are the 4 teams which won the 4 groups, the 4 league groups. Michael's in Enniskillen, Mahara, Oma CBS and St Pat's Armagh. There will be in Bowl 1. In Bowl 2 will be the 4 playoff winners. And the playoffs there, as you see, on or before Sunday the 27th of January, there for the last week in the new in January, in the new year. Coleman's Newry versus Holy Trinity Cookstown. McCartan's Monaghan versus Abbey CBS. St Ronan's Lurgan, the holders, versus Patrician Carrick Lacrosse. And Eunice Letterkenny versus St Patrick's Academy Dungannon. And the winners of those games will play one of the already qualified quarterfinalists. The MacRory Cup was first played for in 1923, so this is actually the 97th instalment of the MacRory Cup. Although there were 5 senior titles before 1923 when the trophy didn't exist. So in actual fact then that would make it, this is the 102nd or the 103rd Ulster Senior Schools Championship title. So we can proceed then with the draw. As I said, in Bowl 1 you will have the already qualified quarterfinalists, and then in Bowl 2, which is actually the McLarnan Cup trophy, we will have the winners of the qualifiers. Can I also say, for a point of historical information and interest, that the MacRory Cup, which you see before you, that new trophy which we've had since 2012, that is actually the 3rd MacRory Cup that has existed. The previous 2 have been retired to the O'Fee Museum in Armagh. That one there was first awarded for a horse race at Leopardstown in 1906. So the trophy that you see there, the current MacRory Cup, is at least 112 years old, and it was in safekeeping somewhere in some country house in somewhere in Ireland, and became available at auction eventually, and fell into our hands in the early months of 2012, which enabled us to retire its predecessor, which was showing 50 years of wear and, I might add, tear at that stage. And so therefore we were able to replace it with that magnificent trophy there, courtesy of Cardinal Brady, thereby maintaining also the link between the Diocese of Armagh and the MacRory Cup that has been there since 1923. So that history lesson then, we'll proceed with the draw. And Jimmy, if you will, the first quarter-final. First one out is Oma CBS. And Oma CBS, Una will there now dictate who Oma CBS will play. St Coleman's Newry or Holy Trinity Cookstown. Second quarter-final. St Patrick's Mahara. Mahara. Most recent holders of the title in 2016. Currently have 16 titles. St Eunice Letterkenny or St Patrick's Academy Dungannon. St Patrick's Armagh, last holders of the title in the first year of this millennium, to year 2000, will play St Ronan's Lurgan or Patrician Carrick Macross. Ronan's, of course, the holders and first time winners last year, and went on to lift the Hogan Cup as well, the All Ireland title.
St Michael's and Skillen.
St Michael's and Skillen, last holders of the title in 2012, I think of 5 titles at this point, will play McCartney's Monaghan or Abbey CBS. So, to recap, our 4 quarter-finals, which will be played between Wednesday the 6th and Sunday the 11th of February. Those quarter-finals are Omagh CBS versus St Coleman's Newry or Holy Trinity Cookstown. Secondly, St Patrick's Maghera versus St Junior's Letterkenny or St Patrick's Academy Dungannon. Third, St Pat's Armagh versus St Ronan's Lurgan or Patrician Carrick Macross. And finally, St Michael's in Enniskillen versus St McCartney's Monaghan or Abbey CBS. And final word of thanks to, where is he in the room, Seamus McLarnan. Is he still with us? Yes, he is there on my right. Seamus McLarnan, you heard the profiles of the players, the CVs and all of that we announced earlier. All of that was compiled, all of that information was compiled yet again this year by Seamus McLarnan. And our thanks, of course, are due to him. Our thanks also due to him, Muila Buikas, for all the coverage that he gets us in the Irish News. And you'll see the acres of column inches that we've had throughout term 1 in the Irish News. And thirdly, I want to say that he actually retired from teaching on Friday past. So we anticipate that not only will he continue with those acres of newsprint, that he'll actually multiply them in the future. Thanks very much, Seamus. We're all indebted to you. We appreciate it. Thanks.